So on the Triumph Sprint RS 955i, I bought this about 3 months ago. I'm a postman, and on my postie round, this was parked outside a house, and I used to pass by it every day, and it was parked there for months on end without ever moving. Every time I go past it, there'd be a few more cobwebs, a little bit more dirt and moss and stuff, like you can see here in the mirror. I still haven't cleaned off little bits of that, and it was just slowly deteriorating. But I could see underneath the dirt it was a good bike, it was a nice bike. So I knocked on the door, typical Irish knacker style. I went and knocked on the door and asked. The woman answered, asked her, do you want to sell the bike, or whose bike is it? Do you want to sell it? And she said, oh, it's my son's, yeah, and I really wish he would sell it. It's just sitting out there in the way, doing nothing. I don't think he's ever going to do anything with it. He rode it to work a couple of times and that's it. So I said, well listen, give him, here's my name and number. Give that to him and get him to give me a call if he wants to sell it. And she said, oh, I'll try and persuade him to, yeah, because I want a shot of it. So I'd forgotten all about it then. It's now a few weeks had gone past, and then I got a phone call from him. He said, oh yeah, you the bloke who wanted to buy the bike? And I said, yeah. So he told me what he was looking for it, and I thought, no thanks, that's what you might get for it when everything's all fixed. And there was a bike coming here, yeah, that's what you might get for it when it's all fixed up and looking good. So I gave him a much lower offer, which was all I was prepared to pay for, and he said, no way, I wouldn't take that for it. So I said, well listen, okay, we're too far apart. I don't want to hassle you. If you don't want to sell it, you don't want to sell it for that, no problem. So that was the end of that, and I'd forgotten all about it. Still passing by it every day. When I was passing by it, the first things I could notice straight away were it needed new brake pads. Chain and sprocket were looking a bit sorry for themselves. The tyres needed changing, and that's just what I could see just from strolling past it without giving it a once over as I was walking past it. So anyway, I'd forgotten all about it. A few weeks go past, and then I got another phone call from him. He says, yeah, about that bike, I will sell it to you for that price. So I said, okay, excellent. So that day I went round in my van that day. But bearing in mind, I didn't really know much about the bike at this stage, just from what I've seen. I hadn't ridden it, I don't know any of the history of it, but like I said, it looked okay. The price I gave him was a low price that, you know, that would cover me if the worst came to the worst. So I picked the bike up, found out it was actually his dad's bike, and his dad was the only owner of it, the first owner of it. Very low mileage, only 22,000 miles. And a full service history, so happy days. So so I got it home. First thing I did was take all the fairings off and give it a really good clean down so I could see what I had. Give it a really good clean. I changed the brake pads, cleaned all the calipers, changed the brake fluid. Now it really needed head race bearings. The head race bearings were shot. They weren't knotty yet, and they were just really stiff. At first I thought, oh, it might be just low tyre pressures, but no, that was wishful thinking. Yeah, the wheelbase bearings were, the steering head bearings. Sorry, concentrating on this corner. These roads are really greasy. I don't want to push it too much around these, although in the summer this is a lovely road. Yeah, so the bearings need to change, the head race. So I need an MOT as well, and I need new tyres. So I got tyres for it. Couldn't fit them myself, so I gave them down to S&M Motorcycles in Banbury, and asked them to do the bearings as well and MOT it for me. So they had a hell of a job anyway with the getting the old bearings out, and even just getting the mudguard off. They were saying they had a real problem with that because a lot of the bolts were rusted in and they couldn't get them out. One of them snapped. They couldn't take the forks out with the mudguard in place because there was no brace in the mudguard, so they were afraid they might break or crack the mudguard, which is fair enough. But they got them changed anyway. Got it back, new MOT in it. Yeah, it's great. Fabulous bike. About these bikes themselves, the main thing on these is the engine. It's got the 955 triple engine in them, which is used in all sorts of other bikes. I've had bikes with these engines in before. I've had a Daytona 955. I've had a Speed Triple 955 last year, which I really liked, which was a lovely bike. Had the same engine as this, and the engine has got this nice and smooth. There's no noticeable power band or like a VTEC kicking in, nothing like that. It's just nice and smooth all the way up through the rev range, which is very, yeah, it's very nice and relaxed, and it's no mean sports bike that, you know, like it's faster than any car, but for a sports bike, yeah, it's not all that. From the front, I think that does look very dated. Those lights do look very, very dated. Good safety feature there. Put it into first from the side, stand it still down. Best safety feature ever, that, I think. Yeah, so this bike, it's very unintimidating. It's quite light. Like I said, it's got very smooth. The torque is very smooth. It's, you know, it's there's no sudden surges in power or anything like that. It's very, very unintimidating, I guess, would be a good way of putting it. I was watching another YouTube video, some guy doing a review in one of these, and he suggested it'd be a very good bike for people returning to biking, for older guys that, you know, returning to biking. And I think he's hit the nail on the head there. It would be. It's easy to get on with. It's not trying to kill you all the time. It's a nice, easy bike to ride, and a good way to get you back into biking again. So I think it'd be perfect for that. Or likewise, you know, for someone getting their first big bike, it would be a good choice. These are also very good bargains, you know, because you pick up an extra one of these for less than £2,000. Yeah, you get them anywhere from between, I don't know, £1,400–1,500 to £2,000. You know, you pick up a very good one. So that's nothing to be complained about. What else can I tell you about it? A couple of things that annoy me about it. The steering lock is awful. When you're just moving it around, But you know, in a parking space, to get in the garage or whatever, the steering lock is very poor. Probably because the bars are quite narrow and they're quite low, so they hit onto the tank here quite a bit. Speeding of the tank on this particular model, I don't know if you can see how well you can see that there, the tank. It's got blistering in the paint. Now that's a very common thing on these bikes. It's got a plastic tank and blistering paint in the tank is all too common on them, which is a shame really. On this it's not too bad, to be honest. It just looks like a few little raindrops on it. It's not bad, but it's there and it's annoying. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's a 20-year-old bike. There's going to be things like that with it. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, for a 20-year-old bike. Go. So I've been riding around now for an hour and a half maybe, and I'm still in good shape. I'm not feeling any aches, or like I said, I'm quite big, I'm quite tall. I'm feeling nice and comfy still on this, which is a good sign. I've had some sports bikes and some smaller bikes in the past, and I'm just so scrunched up on them. After a little while, it's just so painful, you know, because they're just so small and tired. Yeah, you just feel everything starts to hurt after a while. Your knees, your wrists, your back. Yeah, but I'm still okay on this. I'm going to go in here. Let's go down to the airfield and maybe take a few pictures down here. It's been a while since I've been down here. Go down and have a look, see what's going on. This is Enstone Airfield down here. Seems to be a lot going on. Well, mind you, it's not exactly Heathrow. Take a few photos here. Let's pull up here and take a few photos. In front of the jet. Shame it's all covered up with that. Right, what have we got? Actually, it looks a bit naff with all that plastic over the cockpit. That's a shame. It's not a bad looking bike, is it? It looks nice from this angle. Maybe not so from the front. Let's get me gloves.